Welcome everybody to Iowa State Cyclones live here on the Voice of College Football Network. I just went straight through that. Host Levi Stevenson, and we are here on PostGAME Live after Iowa State gets out of Jonesboro, Arkansas, with a 24-16 final. Certainly not the prettiest of games. The classic. This is a classic win your clunkers type of football game where you go out and you just play like shit. You just play terrible, and you just somehow got to find a way to gut out a win against all odds. And fortunately today, Iowa State was able to do that. It was stressful. It was not fun. And the common theme here I saw all day on social media, is that we would like to not continue to play G5 teams on the road in weird places. You know, if they sent us to Philadelphia to play Temple, not such a big deal. Easy to fly to, easy place to stay. It's an easy road trip. Or in 4 years when we play at Tulane, that one won't be so bad. Plenty of places to stay. Logistically, a fairly easy thing to do. However, in 2 years, the problem here is we've got to go play at Bowling Green, which I'm trying to even think of where you fly into there. I suppose maybe, I don't know, maybe you can, I don't know if Bowling Green has an airport even. Let's see here. I'm like, I could pull this thing up. Let's see. Of course, we're obviously going to talk about the game, but now as a geography nerd myself, I'm now quite curious as to where they would even. I mean, there is an airport right there. Don't know if it's actually big enough for the team playing. If it's not, you're probably flying into Toledo, I suppose. You're probably flying into this Toledo Executive Airport, and then going down to Bowling Green from there, I imagine. But so that's not like a horrible road trip. But either way, Iowa State gets out of Jonesboro. I'll put the thing. Yeah, watch flying to Cleveland. Gets out of Jonesboro with the 24-16 win. Stats wise, nothing like super impressive, but I mean, some notable stuff here, like individually, anyways. So Iowa State finishes with 452 total yards of offense. Certainly didn't feel like that. I imagine a decent chunk of that came off of like 4 or 5 plays. I know Hansen had a 38-yard run. Sama had a 44-yard run. He should have had like an 87-yard. He should have had like an 87-yard touchdown run that got called back for holding. And then Townsend had that 44-yard catch. Moore had a couple long catches. Carson Brown had a few. I mean, like, it's funny because like it seemed like it was kind of either boom or bust. Like either they got 3 yards or they got 40. There was no just like steady dose of offense throughout the whole game or anything. Kind of a weird deal. So it is what it is. I guess where Rocco did, as it mentioned here in the comments, Rocco did throw technically his first interception of the season. Now, while this was certainly not Rocco's best day, he missed some throws early. Almost threw a pick six earlier on a wide throw where he stared down his receiver. That interception hit Ben Bramer square in the chest, and then he fumbled the catch, and then basically did like the college football 26, fucking huck it over your back shoulder, and then the Arkansas State guy happened to be right there to catch it. So it was a bizarre play that was absolutely not Rocco's fault, even if Rocco did throw a ball earlier that probably should have been picked and taken to the house, frankly. The pick six that was more egregious than the actual pick. So in the end, you get out of there with the win. That is the most important part of this. The famous saying, "Win your clunkers." I will say, what made this game so stressful was part of the heat and the fatigue and all this. Now, I do want to give credit to Jalen Rayner, who is a really talented player. He's a really, really nice, fun little player. He's super, super elusive. Um, Super elusive. He's got good speed. He doesn't throw like the best ball. So, sometimes he throws a dangerous ball here and there, but like he's one of those guys that's just really fun. He's a really fun little player to watch. And if he ever got a chance to really sit down with a good quarterback coach to teach him how to read film, how to make better decisions and stuff like that, he'd probably be a really nice little player. And he's really difficult to defend. I think I talked about it last week on various shows about how like Arkansas State basically play offense like a 9-year-old plays Madden. They're trying to run deep routes all over the place. They're scrambling around with Jalen Rayner. They're doing little read options and stuff like that. It's pretty much what it is. It's either their offense is either Jalen Rayner scrambling around getting yards or throwing it downfield. And unfortunately, for a good chunk of this game, honestly, for the first, I would say even through the first half, but certainly through the first quarter and a half or so, I would say the defense actually played really well. They did a really good job defending Arkansas State. For the most, Jalen Rayner got loose a couple times, but for the most part, they were doing their job. Unfortunately, the tide turned and things got stressful on a really, really bad play by Drew Surges to eat that roughing the kicker penalty, roughing the punter, which gave Arkansas State a first down, and then eventually kicked off what turned into a 9-minute scoring drive, which was absolutely miserable. It tired the defense. It totally wore the defense out. And frankly, that drive alone is what kept Arkansas State in this game, because that bled over into the second half, into the fourth quarter and stuff like that. It was just the defense just couldn't get off the field. It was very clear that they were extremely tired. You would have forgiven them for being fatigued even after, just like in a normal game, after the schedule that they had just navigated through the first 4 games. Obviously, the really difficult travel situation with Ireland, and then you have the weird South Dakota game, then you have the Iowa game, and then you're back to play kind of a trap game on the road at a G5 school that's like, they don't play a lick of defense, but they can score, and you're doing it in like 95-degree heat. The temperatures on the field are like 110, something stupid. And it was like, this game was built in a lab for Iowa State to lose. You're playing tired against a team that's less tired than you. You're playing on the road and against a quarterback that's a really, really effective scrambler. That's a difficult situation to deal with for Iowa State. And for the middle 2 quarters, they really didn't deal with it all that well. Just the long drives, the missed tackles all over the place, and they just could not figure out how to contain Jalen Rayner. You get towards the end, and Arkansas State's getting ready to punch this thing in to they were getting ready to take a lead, I think, and they get down to the goal line. Oh no, sorry, wait, was this was I'm trying to remember the sequence of all this thing. Because they had yeah. So they drove all the way down. They ended up, they were going to try to tie it up, and then they got to the goal line, and they scored twice essentially, and they got an offensive pass interference, and then they went and scored again. They've got a holding penalty, and they're backed up to like 3rd and goal from the 26, and finally didn't convert. They kicked the field goal, and I would say somehow held them on that. And it was not somehow, it was penalties, 100% gifted a few penalties there. And just managed to squeak it off from there. Amazingly, coming into the game, Iowa State had not trailed at all this season. 0 seconds had they been trailing, and they trailed for 29 seconds at the end of the first half. Arkansas State took a 10-9 lead, and then and then just blitzed downfield, 4 plays, 79 yards in like 28 seconds or something like that. And then immediately took back the lead and never actually gave it up, even though it felt like we were down by 14 all day. So I would say to still only trail 28 seconds or 29 seconds on the season, but just all day it felt like you were uphill, that Arkansas State had all the momentum, and that it was just inevitable that they would get another touchdown, and then it would, and then that would, obviously we'd have to play from behind, and it would just be a miserable time. And fortunately, the fourth quarter came around. The offense finally came to life. They ran the ball a little bit. Rocco has a big completion to Xavier Townsend on a fucking dime, like through the pass of his life, down to Xavier Townsend along the sideline, just dropped it right in the bread basket for Xavier Townsend, who also, we're going to shout out him here in a second. He had an awesome game. That was like really, I think that was the Xavier Townsend breakout game that we had been teasing. And they go down there, they burn a few minutes off the clock, and they get a touchdown. It wasn't without drama. They got down to like the 8 or 9 yard line and punched it in, and then they Abu Sama punched it in, but then they got a holding penalty. So then they had to back up, and they got closer, and then Abu Sama just trucked a dude, ran over a fella, headed straight into the end zone. It was a grown man play that I would say badly needed to get ahead and to just be able to play with a full lead, a full 1-score lead, like because that put them up by 8. And that was critical. Being able to play defense and be a little bit more aggressive, knowing that like no matter what, they can only tie it at the absolute best. Yeah, see, his first mistake was getting between Abu and the end zone. It's actually funny because earlier in the game, on 2 different occasions, Arkansas State's safety was coming down to defend Carson Hansen was getting a ball through the A gap, and their safety shot out of a cannon, headed straight to the A gap, just full speed. Then and twice he hit Carson full speed, got knocked straight to his ass, and was hurt at the end of the play. The first time they had to bring the trainers on the field. The second time, I think he got like up, but he was clearly like seeing stars. And it was just funny because it's like, dude, and I remember they brought his player card up, and he was like 5'11", like 182 pounds. I was like, dude, like running full speed at Carson Hansen when you've got a 40-pound deficit on him is just asking for you to separate a shoulder or something like that. You're asking for a stinger or something. And routinely throughout the day, Abu Sama and Carson Hansen were able to exert pretty physical dominance on Arkansas State. Carson Hansen, he finished with, oh my gosh, I got away from my stats here. Carson Hansen finished with how many yards do you have? 116 on 18 carries with that long of 38. Abu Sama, 9 carries for 69 yards. And like I said, should have had about another 70 tacked onto that with another touchdown, if not for that holding call, which fortunately they end up kind of going down and doing what they needed to do there. And then, on that last drive of the game, I mean, it was funny because we were talking about how like fourth quarter Rocco needed to show up and be fourth quarter Rocco. He needed to be the guy that we had been counting on to make game-winning drives and just put games away. And fuck if he didn't do that. He came right in and had that, delivered that touchdown, the perfect deep ball to Xavier Townsend. But on the last drive of the game, when they're just trying to ice this thing out, they got their 8-point lead. They've got the ball back, and they just kind of keep trucking forward, keep running the ball, keep making good plays. And then they get to third down. There's a third or fourth down, and they're like, they need to do something here to try to convert this thing. Because you're either going to convert it or it's third down. You're either going to convert it or you're going to punt, and you're going to give Arkansas State like 25 seconds left. And then Taylor Mauser, who I guess obviously we all love Taylor Mauser here. This was not his best game in terms of play calling. I think early on he got way too cute, tried to pass the ball too much. We were gashing him in the run game, and they just kind of got away from it for no reason. This was not Taylor Mauser's best game, But fuck, like that third down call where they line up in a heavy single back formation and play action rollout and hit Carson Brown along the sideline, which also shout out Carson Brown for getting his first real playing time of the season, making a couple really critical catches. Hits Carson Brown on the sideline there, and which effectively ended the game. Got Iowa State the first down with Arkansas State having no timeouts left, and they just kneeled it out from there. So it made a few critical plays down the thing, but like that play call was gutsy as hell. I mean, Arkansas State was clearly not ready for it. It was a great catch by Carson Brown. Good ball by Rocco to get it to where only Carson could catch it. And, you know, in the end, Rocco and Taylor Mauser put it together, and they put together 2 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter that they needed to have, and they did it. And like just like they did it a bunch last year, and they've been doing it this year. So you would prefer that the first 3 quarters weren't quite so ugly, but that's what it is. Okay, we're going to keep talking here. Obviously, I'm going to put I think I put it in the chat already once, but I'm going to throw the link to, if anybody wants to call in and give their thoughts, comments on the game, have a little discussion, that'd be great. I'll put the link to, I just put the link to it in the comments. Well, we got Fancy Rex in. Let's bring him in. What's going on?
I'm alive. Does that count?
That's something.
Gutted that one out.
Yeah, it's something. I mean, we're doing what we got to do.
I mean, is this a gut it out and survive to the bye week kind of game? Kind of feels like that's where we're stuck right now.
I mean, would it have been nice to win this thing by 35? Yeah,
yes,
it'd have been great. It would have been great. It would have made all of our lives easier. But
it is Jonesboro.
It's Jonesboro. It's. I mean, for us, it's functionally Morgantown, where you have to drive. You have to fly someplace else, then take a bus in. So it's a bad road game against a team that's like, they're not like a great team, but they've got some plucky players, and Jalen Rayner is a nice little player. I'm the 2 times we've played him, I've been fairly impressed with Jalen Rayner. And it turned into, let's just get the fuck out of here. Like as soon as that roughing the punter happened, I was like, this turned immediately into, let's just get the fuck out of here with a win type of game.
That's exactly what it turned into. I was actually very surprised after that sequence that we came back and scored a touchdown going into halftime. Cannot underscore how critical that was. And the 2-point conversion on
that drive kind of came out of nowhere, because that whole first half, we were all talking, it was like, oh my God, he just keeps getting too cute. They keep just like, the running game's working. They're not sticking with it. Now they want to try doing too much weird shit in the passing game. I don't know how much they actually missed Gabe Burkle or not. I mean, Cooper Alexander had a couple decent plays early. He did miss one catch, but like,
he had a good game. But I guess where I'm at with it is, he had a good game. He looked fine, but would we have had an easier passing attack with Gabe Burkle? And I stand with yes, we would.
I mean, Gabe Burkle is one of your best players. I mean, it's hard to say that you wouldn't be better with it. Wouldn't have been better with him. But I didn't see like Cooper. I mean, it was really just the side of the one play where he should have sat in his zone instead of moving out of it. That was like the one where it's like, Gabe Burkle wouldn't have moved. But for the most part, like, I don't think the game. I mean, Tyler more than made up for Gabe Burkle's production and with his couple plays too. So,
I think the biggest thing for me was just the funny part about this. I'm gonna laugh about this down the road. In the past, we would have lost our minds and called for Tom Manning to be fired. And this game, we're like, please just run the damn ball. Please run it. Please, Tom Manning.
I will say, I did see one person on Twitter getting a touch hasty. It wasn't like actively like, oh, get rid of Taylor Mauser, but he was just like, he was doing the typical Taylor Mauser. And I was like, what do you mean typical Taylor Mauser? He's a fucking mad professor genius. Like, he's been stellar otherwise.
It's an Ark State game. To me, this is no different than the Waco game without the tents. It's just brutal. You survive it and you move on with your life. That's about where it's at.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, I'm happy we got out of there with a win. Obviously, it's 4-0. They're going to be knocking on the door of the top 10, depending on I don't know if anybody meaningful lost or not, but, they're probably not going to scooch into the top 10, but
Does Florida upset LSU here? Because they're up.
No. Dude,
it's just starting, but
LSU is so good. They're really, really good. Like LSU might be the best team.
And it's at LSU. So
no. Florida's not beating LSU in Death Valley. That's LSU. LSU might be the best team in college football.
They might be. Does USF pull off a stunner against Miami?
Excellent question. I hope they do.
I do too.
Did you know? I heard it on game day today. I never knew. Did you know that Alex Golesh is a refuge? His family were refugees from the Soviet Union?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. They were like, yeah, they immigrated when Alex was 7. He didn't know a lick of English or whatever. And I was like, they were escaping the Soviet Union as it was falling, and I was like, why have I not heard of this? Like, why? Like, I was not even remotely familiar with the fact that Alex Golesh was a Soviet refugee.
It's that Soviet drilling into his football teams. That's how they win games.
Well, and it's like if he still had like a Russian accent, I'd been like, oh, that's kind of weird. I wonder what the deal is with that. But like, he doesn't. He just talks like a Midwesterner. So it's like it throws me off a little bit that he would like to find. It threw me off. I was like, oh, that's weird. I never knew that.
I would not be totally shocked to see Iowa State drop a hair.
Yeah, because I think the AP voters are going to look at that box score and be like, oh, they won by 1 score over Arkansas State. They might drop them down to 16 or something, which who gives a shit?
Especially after what Arkansas did to them last week.
Right.
So
it's like, if they drop them a couple spots, it is what it is. Like,
I don't get overly energized about
at this point, I think.
I mean, it's an early season poll. It doesn't matter.
And it's like at this point too, like with all the stuff that came out this last week about that, with that one AP writer basically functionally admitting to the national admitting to the country that she has no process for ranking. She just kind of does it or whatever, just makes something up.
The ridiculousness of that entire
like that whole interview, in my opinion, like was a big hit on the legitimacy and how seriously the AP poll is taken.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, she's going to be the poster child for it. She's got to own it because she was dumb enough to go out and say it
but she's not the only one that does that.
She's absolutely not the only one that does that. I mean, come on now. Every week you're highlighting AP voters and their votes, and you're like, where did he come up with this? Like,
right. Yeah. You can always find a handful of ballots. You're like, how the hell did they come up with this ranking? And it's just, I mean, at this point, like, I don't know. There's really not. Now that we have the college football playoff poll, there's really not a reason for the AP poll to exist. But whatever. So if they drop Iowa State a couple spots, whatever.
I'm not going to worry about rankings until the end of the year. And at the end of the year, it's
the only rankings that matter are the only rankings that matter are the college football playoff rankings. Those are the only ones.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just, and at the end of the day, did you win your games? If Iowa State goes and wins every one of their games and we're still at 14, okay, now you got a right to bitch. Until then, nothing. I don't want to hear it. You got to win.
I mean, it doesn't help that like Kansas State keeps looking worse. And
no, but even then, you play the schedule that's in front of you.
Yeah.
Okay. When we got done with the K-State or even the Iowa game, we were like, okay, we're in a good spot. Iowa, North Dakota or South Dakota. South Dakota was supposed to be really good. Then they dropped to I don't even remember who.
Yeah. Lamar, I think.
Lamar, you're right. And then K-State just imploding. But the way I look at it is K-State just fits the trend. K-State is the loser in Ireland, and every loser in Ireland implodes. Mm-hmm. Their entire season goes up in flames. I mean, look at Florida State last year. You can't look at Florida State and say that team was a 2-win team.
No.
But they were.
The problem is the travel schedule for that whole thing is just so absurd. That like if you don't get a good handle on it, it's going to eat you. It's going to eat you alive. And fortunately, Iowa State has largely navigated that, and they've avoided that. Because now you're at the bye week, you can reset, you can get healthy, you can reground yourself and get your stamina back and be ready to go. They get Arizona in 2 weeks. Which Arizona looks plucky. They look like you need to take Arizona seriously. Not that you ever wouldn't take a Big 12 team seriously, but you need to take them more seriously maybe than you were originally thinking. Arizona coming into this season, I think most people would have figured that Iowa State would be favored by a couple scores at least. 10 to 14 points at minimum type of thing. Now you're probably looking at them being like a touchdown favorite. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
I think it might be a 4-point spread. I think it might be four.
It could be. It could, honestly. And the thing that scares me about Arizona is that Noah Fafita is every bit as good a runner as Jalen Raynor is, and he's a much better passer. Now, Arizona doesn't have a lot for weapons. There's not a lot.
Their D line looked pretty respectable. Now, yeah. I don't know, is K-State's O line really just that bad? Because they were. I don't know. It's one of these things where, like, I feel like Kansas State is going to be good at some point this season. Like, they're going to turn it on in October or something. Because I think do they have a bye week this week too? I don't remember.
God, I would hope they'd have a bye week now.
At this point, I'm just watching the train wreck along everybody else. Like,
I'm gonna look this up because, like, so their next game is in 2 weeks. They've got UCF, which UCF is fucking terrible. They've got UCF at home in 2 weeks. So Kansas State gets a chance to reset and get a shit team at home in a couple weeks that they can beat up on a little bit and kind of get right. Iowa State's got a couple weeks. They can get healthy. They can game plan. Jalen Raynor was probably not the worst, like, guy to have to right before you have Noah Fafita. So you can be like, okay, this is where we fuck this up, and this is how we need to defend this kind of player, because Noah Fafita will do that.
That's going to be the film study this week. I mean, that it's got to be. Like, the way I look at it is, you can say, okay, it's in Jonesboro. It's 110 on the field. It's a terrible environment, and it's a team that's played 4 straight games, including a trip to Ireland, and you're 100% justified. I know you were saying that. I know Matthias was saying that in the chat. I don't think you guys are off base. But I will also say that quarterback is the poster child of what we're going to face several times throughout the Big 12. And I mean, it's going to start with Arizona.
Yeah, Fafita is probably the best. Frankly a pretty similar player to Jalen Raynor. I mean, like, Sorsby with Cincinnati is a good runner. He's not really a good thrower. Who knows what Colorado's going to chuck out there?
Colorado's a train wreck.
They're a mess.
That was actually the biggest thing that sold me on that this week, because next Tuesday we're moving up to Colorado.
Nice.
I'm buying tickets to that Colorado game 100%.
Yeah, and they're a mess, and BYU. I mean, I don't know if anyone knows what to think about BYU yet, because all they've done is beat up on shitty teams. Arizona State absolutely looks vulnerable. TCU probably looks. I think they look pretty good. That's probably good. Like, at TCU is at this point, at this juncture, easily the most difficult game left on the schedule, and one that if you penciled it as an L on the schedule right now, I wouldn't blame you. Not because we can't win it, because you absolutely can win that game, but, like, that's a tough one, especially if TCU keeps playing as well as they have been. But I'm glad that we got to the bye week at 4-0, which I think, was at the beginning of the season was like a doable, reasonable thing to predict, but it wasn't necessarily the most popular prediction. I think a lot of people had us coming out of that at 3-1 or 2-2. But you're 4-0, you're ahead of the ball game. You're into the bye week, you can get healthy. Like, Gabe Burkle, it sounded to me like Gabe Burkle was only held out really as a precaution. Like, he probably could have gone if he really needed to, but that's 2 weeks that Gabe Burkle can get 100%. Carson Willich maybe can be back. Whatever the deal is with Kyle Conradi, hopefully he's fine. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure what's all going on there.
I'm hoping it was minor, and that it was just look, it's a hot day and you tweak something, so you're done. You're just done. It's not worth it.
That's kind of what my hope is. So hopefully Kyle's fine. Hopefully they get, Gabe Burkle can be back. There's a few guys that you just want to see them play more and make sure they're good to go. Actually, interestingly enough, for the Arizona game, we're going to get another injury report, so we'll find out exactly what's going on.
A real one, not the giant hog.
I'm not sure what to do with the giant hog report going into the next game.
It's Xavier Townsend. That's
Oh,
who
Xavier.
needs to be
Yeah,
on the
that's true.
floor.
Xavier Townsend's the hog this week. Yeah, I don't
Yep.
know if there's anybody on defense really.
This was not a great game. Not a great showing from the defense in my mind. That's where I'm stuck with it.
Trey Bell, maybe. Trey Bell had a good game.
Can live with that.
That pick that he had downfield was a crazy.
That
catch.
was. The part that I laughed about it was the fact that he held it up while on his back almost was enough for them to overturn the pick. And I'm like, come on now. He's celebrating. That's it. It's a pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he obviously has possession. I mean,
right. So whatever. No, it's one of those where I think I said it in the chat. I definitely said it in the chat. The defense didn't do itself any favors this game. I mean, you cannot give up multiple 8-minute plus drives.
Yeah.
And complain that the offense isn't on the field enough. Now, the offense wasn't on the field enough either, but defense didn't help itself.
Well, the shitty part is the first 9-minute drive wasn't even their fault.
No.
If Drew Surges doesn't run into the fucking punter, like they're off the field, the offense is doing their thing, and frankly, maybe this whole game is completely different if that one thing doesn't happen. I mean, special teams was in general a disaster today. You missed the PAT, you missed the field goal, you had the roughing the punter thing. You have Tyler Perkins drop the fucking punt in the end zone, shit like that. Like, I happened to step away from the TV right before that punt because my dog was like getting in my face about needing to go outside. So I had to let her out real quick, and I came back in, and Arkansas State had the ball, no problem. And then I saw the replay after that Perkins had dropped the snap, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm glad I wasn't here for that."
Yeah, you were lucky to have missed that one. Everybody else was cussing.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you could hear the collective groan from the entire Wide Right Discord.
Oh yeah.
During that play. No, I think I was concerned about the special teams after Iowa. I know we talked about that, and there was some that's like you're overanalyzing a couple plays. I feel like this time I'm not overanalyzing a couple of plays.
Well, this time some legitimate like we need to wrap and we need to tighten some shit up.
Yeah.
Iowa. Like the muff
punt was screwed on a bad play.
The muff punt was fucked. Like that was, but otherwise the special teams was very good that game. This one was an actual like legit bad special teams performance that they have to get cleaned up.
It was a lovely little tire fire to watch.
I am willing to attribute a decent chunk of it to guys just being tired and like they're exhausted. They need a week off. I don't think it's currently a long-term concern of mine. I think they will come back to the mean, which has generally been special teams so far this season has generally been very, very good. Yeah. So I'm not really worried about it long term. Now, if they're bad against Arizona, one, we might lose that game. But two, then I'll be willing to ring the alarm bell and say, hey, there's a problem here.
I'm not quite worried about Arizona as long as we can figure out, and this is my caveat, as long as we can figure out Noah Fafita. If you can figure that out and limit the damage he can do, you'll win.
It took us a very, very long time to get a spy on the field for Jalen Raynor.
You can't take long against
long. I mean, if they're not coming out and immediately spying Noah Fafita, you fucked up. You did something wrong in your film study if you're not immediately spying Fafita.
I mean, he ran for 2 touchdowns, I think, against.
I think he had like 110 or 120 yards on the ground or something like that. He had a lot of rushing yards against Kansas State, and he was just running all over the place.
Where is that at?
I'd have to. I know he ran for a.
He had 178 yards passing.
How much do you have on the ground?
But I don't see the ground right now. ESPN being ESPN, they pulled up the. They pulled up his stat line instead of the entire game stat.
That's why we go to sportsreference.com. Let's see here. Rushing
48 yards, 2 touchdowns.
He only had 48 yards. God, I thought I could have sworn he had more. It felt like a lot more.
I think what happened, what you got to offset it with is I do believe he got sacked.
He did get sacked a couple of times, and I think they were long sacks.
And that'll take you because I don't
Yeah.
see where's the he got sacked twice.
Funny enough, actually, his quarterback rating against Kansas State was not all that great.
No, that game was weird.
It was
because I sat and watched the whole thing. I kind of
Yeah.
regret not watching the Houston Colorado game instead. I should have watched that one. I heard it was at least good, but this one was just weird.
It was messy.
It was messy. It was mind numbing. It was basically, for me, it was the equivalent of watching what we just watched, except neither team feels good. Like Arkansas State, their fans, if I were them, I'd be thrilled about this game today.
Oh, I mean, Arkansas State, outside of the penalties, played a very, very good game.
Yep.
And we played a very, very bad game.
Yep.
Which is good because in past years, if Iowa State plays a bad game against a G5 playing a good game, you lose that game.
Yep. I mean, you don't have to go that far back. We did it in Ohio.
Yeah. The Ohio game, now that we're a couple years down the road, you shouldn't have lost the game. No. But knowing that like the entire team had food poisoning, I kind of get it. Like it's like, well, I mean, if everybody's like shitting their pants the whole game, yeah, I mean, I get it. Like you
got other things going on.
Yeah, you got other things going on. I mean, so it's one of those, like, retrospectively, now that we know that about the Ohio game, I'm not like as like a classic Iowa State thing. It's just like they had food poisoning. I mean, it's like I don't. Well, what are you gonna do? Like,
yeah. Well,
I mean,
stop playing games on the road in the middle of nowhere, Ohio.
Yeah. Athens, Ohio, actually a fun little town, but
I've heard
it's a fun little town, but it's like it's not like in past seasons where like there's a 2000. I'm gonna go back a little ways here. 2008 or 2009, you have to go on the road to play Kent State to play Kent State, and RJ Summerall has to have like a touchdown at the last second to win the damn game. Stuff like that. Like you're not doing that, or
no. But it's a different. I mean, it's a different program.
Losing at Toledo. Now, granted, they had a pretty good running back that day in Kareem Hunt, who, when I remember watching him, I was like, "Holy shit, this guy's good."
Yeah.
Turns out they had a good coach too, but
yeah, he's been pretty good at his.
He's been all right. Yeah, we said we're stealing the coach.
He really doesn't like the color yellow, though.
Which is funny because Toledo wears a lot of yellow. Like Toledo wears a lot of yellow, way more yellow than we used to. It's funny though that what's funny though, little side tangent, when they introduced this newest round of uniforms, they introduced they unveiled gold pants. Like gold pants exist in this uniform suite. They didn't like the 2018 to 2024 uniforms. Or 2023 uniforms did not have a gold piece anywhere. It was just red, white, and black. That's all it was. This new set has gold pants. And we haven't seen them yet. But it's funny because we know that Matt Campbell hates them. We know that Matt Campbell hates gold stuff. Like doesn't want to wear yellow. So why does his third uniform set have a gold item, a gold pants in them?
That was just for shits and giggles. It's just an Easter egg for the fans. That's it. We're never going to see it.
It's never going to be on the field. I mean, I don't know.
That's going to be the ultimate troll move from the athletic team. They're just they're going to unveil it. They're going to be like, look, let's make it a comeback, and we're never going to see it.
Never going to wear it. I think they need to bring back the red, white, gold look that we wore. I think we wore it last time we wore it was a long time ago against it was in Paul Rhodes' era. I think we wore it at Texas Tech when Jarvis West returned a kick return for a touchdown. We wore red, white, gold, and it was actually a pretty sick little uniform combo. And
I can do is flesh colored pants. Sorry.
It's a shame that like on TV they did look like they were just butt ass naked, because in person those uniforms were sick.
Oh yeah, they're one of my favorites. I
kind of wish they would have almost just wore them with white pants instead of the flesh colored pants. But I realized they were attempting to go for some level of historical accuracy. Like I get it, but if you go in College Football 26 and wear the throwback uniform, but just switch out the pants for white pants, perfect.
I'm gonna try that.
Actually, I also recommend switching out. So use the black helmet with the throwback jersey and black pants. also a very, very good look.
I'll have to take a look at both of those. I haven't done either of those.
I also wish we would wear white shoes with our home uniform instead of black.
Yeah, it sits better in my mind.
I mean, like, I get it. The black shoes don't look terrible, but for me, I really like the look of the, like, if you're gonna go like something like red, white, wear white shoes and white socks. I don't know. I like that better than the black shoes.
Cleaner look in my mind.
I would agree.
Then it's not as you don't have that extra layer underneath that doesn't match the one.
Right.
It's a small little piece. You don't need. No.
Yeah, I'm nitpicking, but
we survived to the bye week.
We survived to the bye week. We're 4-0. Iowa State is still going to be in the top 15 at somewhere. They're going to be in the top 15 probably. You get 2 weeks to prepare for Arizona. You've got you just played a quarterback that's pretty similar to their quarterback. And they just played Kansas State, who you've also played, so you know how like Kansas State attacks things. You can look at that kind of like combined game film there and kind of understand what's going on. They're in as good a spot, literally the best spot you could have asked them to be in. We haven't heard about any major injuries. I mean, Carson Willich has missed the last couple games, but I don't think it sounds like he's not like out for the season. I think he just like had something come up or whatever. I'd be curious what the deal is with Aiden Flora. Like, I know it's a hamstring and those can take a while, but so I don't know if it's like he'll be back for Arizona
to see what comes out about Kyle,
or if it's BYU. Kyle's the one that they need to get him healthy. Yeah. Because he's a weapon on special teams where you can park it, on the 40-yard line and be fine taking a field goal from there. Like, you're good with it from that spot.
My mentality on it is probably next game, don't put it in a position where you have to. So that way he doesn't re-aggravate whatever the heck happened.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like he was in the medical tent, came back out. My guess is he probably just like tweaked something a little bit on that one field goal attempt that he pulled.
Yep.
That's my guess. Or he maybe tweaked it on the PAT and then thought it was nothing, went out there and kicked, and then it was like, oh, I actually did tweak something, type of thing. Like, I'm guessing maybe that's what happened. And then he went in the medical tent, they sent him back out, and they said, yeah, you probably shouldn't kick for us. Probably shouldn't kick today, type of thing, but it was no big deal.
Yeah. No, I mean, you got a week to get right. You got another week before you play Arizona.
Yep.
And the next couple of games, as long as you can survive the Arizona game.
Yep.
I'm not worried about Cincinnati. I'm not worried about Colorado, other than that it's at Colorado and you should never factor that out.
Yeah.
But I'm not really worried about that.
I mean, they played at Utah last year, and Utah wasn't great last year, but like Utah last year was better than Colorado is this year.
Yeah.
And so and Utah is at a higher elevation than Colorado is. So it's like, I mean, they can, I'm not that worried about it. Matt Campbell's program in general plays fairly well on the road.
They do. I will be more worried about the next 4 games after that. BYU,
Arizona State, TCU, Kansas. Yeah. That's the
that's going to be the meat and potatoes of the schedule.
Fortunately, like I said, Arizona State doesn't look like the behemoth we thought, like some people thought they might be.
I think you've got quarterback regression, and I think anybody that
people have tape on Sam Levitt, and you lose Cam Scatterbo. Like,
yeah, I mean,
it was very predictable that they were going to regress a little bit.
Yeah,
I think Cam Scatterbo pretty good at football.
Yeah, I mean, I watched what he did against Texas.
I watched
everything he could to win that. Pretty good football player.
And
some would say NFL quality.
Some would say, and actually his first, in this first preseason game, something like that, he had a couple really nice plays too.
He blew up 3 defenders
on one play. Yeah. Just bang. And he trucked them and then just shucked them out of bounds.
Oh yeah.
He hit them and then threw them out of bounds and just kept discarding them one after another. It was kind of funny.
It was insane.
Yeah.
But I'm not as worried about Arizona State, because there is one thing that I will point out about a lot of Arizona State. They don't play a lot in the cold.
No.
They're coming in November.
Yeah. Granted,
Have
it's like
fun.
November 1st, so it'll still be like in the 40s probably or the 50s.
Yeah, but that's colder than it ever gets down here.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
honestly, right now, like Kansas scares the fuck out of me. Kansas scares the hell
Kansas
out of me.
should. Well, we can't seem to find a way to beat Leipold.
I mean, the nice thing is that you could lose to
easy.
TCU and Kansas and still go 10-2 because Oklahoma State is dog shit. But you know,
yeah, but I'd like 11 wins.
I would like
10.
11 wins. That would be really nice.
It'd feel a lot better. Here's where I'm at with it. 11 wins, you're in the Big 12 title game. You got a shot at the college football playoff.
10 win. I mean, if you're at 10 wins and you finish 7-2, you're going to be in the title game.
I hope. I don't know. We don't play Utah.
We don't play Tech.
We don't
play
Tech.
Baylor. We don't play Houston.
Yep.
Now Baylor.
They all play each other.
Baylor looks bad. TCU and Utah play each other.
Yep.
I think TCU's probably has Tech. I don't know if they have Utah.
I don't remember. I think there's a scenario
TCU's schedule. Well, TCU's schedule is brutal.
Yeah, which is why they won't make the title game in my mind because they've got Baylor, but it's at home. Their schedule's not horrific. They play at Arizona State though.
That's not good. Yeah, that's not great.
At Kansas State. Baylor at West Virginia.
At Kansas State looked a lot scarier a month ago.
It would have. Their schedule's not as brutal in my mind as it was because they don't play Tech, they don't play Utah.
They miss Tech and Utah. Well,
they miss Tech and Utah.
I mean, this could be. I mean, hopefully, maybe it'll be Iowa State TCU title game.
Is it? Is Houston legit?
I don't know the answer to that.
Colorado's bad.
Colorado's not great.
So I don't know.
Flip into your third string quarterback in the third game of the third game of the season. Not awesome.
No. As it turns out, losing Travis Hunter and
Sanders and a few other guys.
And a few. Well, they lost both of the.
They lost another receiver. Was it J.C. Horn Jr. or something like that?
Yeah, they had a couple good receivers.
They had a couple good receivers go out. Yeah.
So they're not good. I think anybody should have expected that. There was no way they were going to be able to reload after last season.
I mean, the nice thing here is that you get the bye week and you get 3 games in a row that are like against like competent teams, but they're manageable. Arizona's probably the best of those 3 at the point in time, which is funny because I don't think anybody was predicting that. Granted, Arizona, they did beat Kansas State. Kansas State is reeling. They're in a bad spot right now. And otherwise they just beat up on Weber State and Hawaii, 2 very bad teams. So like they've beat up 2 really bad teams, and then they just barely beat a team that is really struggling right now. Yeah,
I don't have the South Florida upset that we were hoping for.
Right.
Miami's up 28-6 and about to score.
Yeah,
that one's done.
I'd say that
Cinderella run is over.
Cinderella run's over for them to go like just run through the state of Florida.
Yeah, but I don't know if there'll be any major
shout out West Virginia. Eat shit fit. West Virginia closing that thing out in the I just caught the overtime. Yeah, so
that was
shout out West Virginia.
But I thought they were winning pretty handily early.
They might have been. I'm not sure. I didn't get to see much of it.
So, but I think our best bet is, Notre Dame plays Texas A&M. But no matter what, whoever wins that one will be ahead of us, in my mind.
Probably.
So,
they'll jump. If Texas A&M wins that, they'll jump up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Georgia beat Tennessee. Oh, well, the team right below us is going to fall. Tennessee lost. So we might stay just at 14.
Yeah. We'll see.
So it's a funky game. We didn't lose, and that's what matters.
You're 4-0, and that's the important part.
Yep. And then you got 2 weeks to figure out how to handle a running quarterback.
Yeah.
And you got to handle a running quarterback.
You got to handle Noah Fafita. Noah Fafita is a very good player.
Yep. Yeah, he is. And they're lucky to have him because I think he was originally going to go to USC.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he had plenty of I'm sure he had plenty of transfer NIL offers this past offseason.
Oh no, I mean even in his like freshman year recruiting.
I don't doubt that. But I would be shocked if like Tennessee didn't call him. I'd be shocked if like UCLA didn't call him. I mean, like I'm sure he got plenty of calls, just like Rocco and just like Josh Hoover, just like Avery Johnson. I'm sure Sawyer Robertson. I'm sure he got plenty of calls.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Arizona also has a bye next week. Interesting. So they got an early bye. So you got 2 teams coming off a bye.
But only one of them is on the road. That'll be the interesting part.
2 teams coming off a bye, only one on the road.
Well, the biggest thing is you're staying home. You are not the one traveling halfway across the country.
Mm-hmm.
They're flying Sky Harbor to Des Moines.
Yep.
I know that flight. Or they're either that or they're going from Tucson to another airport to Des Moines.
Well, they'll probably take it. I'm sure they have a team plane that they take from.
Fair.
They'll take a team plane from Tucson to Des Moines.
But it'll be, I mean, it's still it's a good flight.
Yeah.
And then a night in a hotel.
The Gateway Hotel.
Yep. So.
Or do teams still stay in the Gateway, or they stay like down in Ankeny or something?
I think most of them stay down in Ankeny because the buses always seem to book it right the heck out of there.
Yeah. I think most of them stay down in Ankeny anymore.
Yep.
But
so
yeah. All righty.
We'll see. It'll be interesting. It'll be nice to have a week off, honestly. That's where I'm at with it. It's funny.
This was my first Saturday at home since before Ireland.
I was thinking, last year when we hit the bye week, I was like, man, this is a terribly timed bye week. We're doing really well. And I felt like it kind of messed with the dynamic of the team a little bit. And then we got a L pretty close after it.
Mm-hmm.
This year, no, I'm happy to have this bye. There's some stuff that needs to get fixed.
Guys just need to get healthy. They need to get rested. Yep. Like they just need a chance to reset. My guess is that it feels like they've just been like fatigue wise, they've just been playing catch up since they got back from Ireland. So this gives you a chance to get caught up.
All the more impressive given that
I couldn't agree more. I don't think people are going to give them the credit they deserve for being able to navigate this schedule and overcome what they overcame given all of the adversity placed in front of them.
Right. I mean, it's like jet lag on top of you're a full-time college student and a full-time athlete. Mm-hmm. That's a lot. They've come through a lot. And I can say, as a guy that spends a lot of time in planes, jet lag is very real. It hurts.
Yeah.
So I wish them nothing but the best off the bye week, because I think that might be their first chance to get right.
Mm-hmm.
Get ahead of the schedule rather than just reacting to the schedule every week.
Right. I would totally agree with that. All righty. Well, thanks for jumping on. I think we're going to wrap up the show for today. I haven't seen anybody else call in yet. So thanks for jumping in. We're going to do this. I'm going to try to do this. So we got the home game in 2 weeks against Arizona. Then I'm going to do a post game there, but it'll probably be when I get home. So it'll be a couple hours after the game. Generally speaking, for me to get home, it is basically exactly 6 hours after kickoff is when I get home. So 6 hours and 15 minutes or whatever after kickoff is usually when you can plan on this show being. So we'll be back again in a couple weeks for post game, but Iowa State gets out of Jonesboro with the win over Arkansas State 24-16. It wasn't pretty, but they got the job done, and that's the important part. So everybody have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy your bye week. Enjoy the NFL tomorrow, all that good stuff. Have a great rest of your week. Stay safe. Go Cyclones.